A very good morning to all of you and welcome to the session, the Hindu editorial analysis for proficiency in English. Let us start with the first snippet. SC ruling, dismissal of Christian army officer upheld. A ruling, judgment, verdict in a way related. And what does it say? Dismissal, dismissing someone, dismissal of Christian army officer upheld. Uphold, upheld, upheld means to support in a way related to suspension or dismissal of someone. Simple words. Coming to the next one, you all know this is a pilgrimage season, especially when it comes to Sabarimala, and a lot of pilgrims they take up the visit pilgrimage. You have to recollect all the words related to religion: theology, theist, atheist, agnostic, sacred, holy, pilgrim, pilgrimage, all these words, superstition, devotional. Here, pilgrimage season, but not something positive. Sabarimala sees 8 cardiac deaths in 8 days. That means every day one death, cardiac death, and something very unfortunate. The visit to God results in someone's death. That is really very painful. Coming to the next one, September data. Datum singular, data plural. Halo also you have to recollect. And data can also be a collective noun. Based on that, data takes a singular verb. It also takes a plural verb. No need to get confused. NET, net FDI, foreign direct investment, negative for second straight month. September data talks about FDI. FDI, an important topic, exam point of view. Foreign direct investment. Anything that brings foreign exchange, important. What are the sources? We have FDIs, we have foreign trade, we also have tourism industry. All these bring what I say, foreign exchange. So very disappointing. Coming to the next one, data point. This is something really surprising. Look at this one. Data point. Over 80% nations got loans from China. Country lent 2 trillion US dollars between 2000 and 2023. Around the world, 80%, over 80% nations get loans from China. That is something really astonishing. In a way, disturbing also. Means 80% countries depend on one particular country, that is China. Coming to the next one, dominant display, express, show, all these. Ruthless South Africa. Ruthless means without any mercy. A ruthless dictator without any mercy. In the field of sports, a ruthless means a very strong display. On the cusp of glory. On the cusp of glory means about to achieve glory. The last point, peak of glory. They are going to win, it seems. Coming to the main headline, what does it say? Old wounds are healing, Modi says at Ram Temple. Here it talks about Prime Minister's speech. During that speech, he has made a statement. Old wounds are healing. When you get hurt, and imagine you get hurt, then you call it a wound. And initially you may bleed, but after some time it heals. And based on that, here it is not physical, it is more related to culture. Old wounds are healing, Modi says at Ram Temple. Here we have says, an important word. Tell me, why is it important? Here it is a reporting verb, it is in present tense. Then you have to recollect on the verge of, you can say, on the brink of, related expressions. Rock solid performance, that is also right. Very good. Reporting verb is in present tense. If the reporting verb is in present, present perfect, or future, the tenses don't change to a corresponding past tense. Coming to the next one, this is again very important, one has to read. Assam proposes jail term, heavy fines for polygamy. Polygamy, poly means many, gamy related to marriage. Polygamy, a person marries many a time. We use the word polygamy. Imagine a man has many wives, then polygyny. A woman has many husbands, polyandry. There's a subtle difference. This is a general term, but specific, many husbands, polyandry. Many wives, polygyny. Here it talks about polygamy, monogamy, and you should also recollect words like bigamy, digamy. Bi or di means two. Monogamy, bigamy or digamy, polygamy. Polyandry, polygyny, very important. It's part of the tradition, but now the government is going to stop that and they're going to impose fines and also proposes jail term. Coming to the other snippets, Trump's order targets Muslim Brotherhood. Some order of Donald Trump targets Muslim Brotherhood. Brotherhood, you have to think of the word fraternity. Fraternity means brotherhood. But when it comes to killing one's brother or sister, we use the word fratricide. Many students think fratricide means, based on fraternity, killing one's brother. But do remember, fratricide means killing one's brother or sister. That you have to recollect. Congress may call Karnataka CM, Deputy CM to Delhi. They have their own problems. Rupee lost 4.3% against dollar this calendar year. It seems Indian rupee has lost 4.3% against dollar, US dollar, this current year. Coming to the pick, resilience prevails. Resilience, an important word we have got many a time. You all should have resilient nature. What does it mean? You face a lot of problems, you face a lot of hardships. In spite of that, you endure all those hardships and you emerge victorious. Then we say you have resilient nature. And prevails. Prevail means exist. Prevalence, widespread. Prevail also means to dominate. Yes, you should recollect calendar, calendar. Very good, Sangeeta. One is a rolling machine used to press paper and cloth. The other one, days, months, years, calendar. Very important, they've given many a time. All of you, please have a look at the comment box. Enduring memory, endure to withstand something, endure the pain, endure the agony, means withstand or bear, tolerate. Memory. People gathered outside the Taj Mahal Palace, a key site of the 2008 Mumbai terrorist strikes, on the eve of the attack's anniversary on Tuesday. And the Taj Mahal Palace. Before the names of star hotels, big hotels, we should use a definite article, the. Based on that, the Taj Mahal, the Taj Banjara, the Grand Kakatiya. You have to remember this also, an important rule. Coming to the last headline from the front page of today's Hindu paper, toxic air is a year-round blight in 60% of Indian districts study. Here you can see the pic, hardly visible. The four-wheelers, two-wheeler, toxic air. Toxic, you should also recollect the combinations, toxic fumes, toxic air, toxic pollution. Yes, site is a year-round. Another important thing you have to focus on, a year-round, not a year-round. Blight in 60% of Indian districts. Blight means something like it goes with fungal disease, we say blight. And it's like a disease, a problem in this context, a recurring problem. 60% of Indian districts, according to one study. And what does it say here? Left breathless, not able to breathe, feel suffocated. Delhi and Assam, with 11 districts, each accounted for nearly half of the top most polluted districts. Pollution, air pollution, and here you can see it's a combination of smoke and fog. Then what is blight or potato? Yes, that's right. What is it called? It is called smog, SMOG. You have to recollect that word as well. That's all from the front page of today's Hindu paper. Today, today's editorial, not easy to comprehend to some extent, and not too many words. All the words we have got many a time. Let us see the first one, intimidate. I have given many a time. Intimidation. Intimidate means to frighten, to scare someone, to frighten someone, intimidate. Part of speech, it can be a noun, it can be a verb. The act of frightening or threatening someone to make them obey. Why do you frighten? Why do you threaten? To make them obey to what you say. Word forms intimidate, verb, intimidating, intimidated. Collocations, acts of intimidation, political intimidation, intimidate opponents, intimidating atmosphere. Combinations are very important. I would like to reiterate. Recent SBI Junior Assistant Mains exam, usually closed test, a sentence with a blank, further blank, 5 options, only words. But now they are giving the phrases. Not only that, in place of words, phrases. Not only that, not one phrase, 3 phrases, and the combinations 1 and 2, 2 and 3, or 1 and 3, or 1 and 2, different combinations. If you're not good at these aspects, collocations, and standard phrases, you cannot handle. Please keep that in mind. Only example, only meaning, example, no use at all. The protesters faced intimidation from the authorities. Synonyms, coercion. Coerce means to use force. Threat, bullying. This goes more with school atmosphere. If you go to a school, typical school, you have some guys are pretty big, well built, tall, and some guys are very skinny, and they try to intimidate those people, tease those people. That is known as bullying. Have you heard of that any time? Pressure. Antonyms, reassurance, encouragement. Jurisdiction. We have got this also many a time. Part of speech, noun, official power or authority to make legal decisions or control an area. Within an area, you have the power or authority. That is your jurisdiction. It comes under your jurisdiction. Word forms, jurisdictional. Collocations, fall under the jurisdiction, outside one's jurisdiction, overlapping jurisdiction, legal jurisdiction, jurisdictional conflict. Again, I would like to reiterate, these are very important. Ragging, you can say, who is this? Uday. In a way, you're right. Coming to example, air quality regulation suffers because multiple agencies have partial jurisdiction. One of the reasons behind air pollution, multiple agencies and each one with partial jurisdiction, that results in a lot of a chaotic situation. Authority, control, power, purview. Antonyms, powerlessness, incapacity. Manifest. This also we have got many a time. Mocking has a different connotation, Santosh, but you can recollect. Very good. Part of speech, verb, adjective. Meanings to show clearly, to display, clear or obvious to the eye or mind. Manifest into, develop into, become into. Word forms, manifestation, manifestly. Collocations, manifest itself, manifest signs, manifest problems, manifest behavior. Social manifestation, an important expression. Example, long-term solutions will take time to manifest, means to show clearly or to develop, to become obvious, but they bring lasting change, permanent change, last for a long time. Synonyms, display, show, demonstrate, reveal. Antonyms, hide, conceal. Heavy-handedness. Have you heard of this any time? Heavy-handedness, it goes more with officials, police. Part of speech, noun. Use of excessive force, strictness, or authority. Overbearing behavior, too dominating. Word forms, heavy-handed. Collocations, political heavy-handedness, heavy-handed tactics, heavy-handed response, heavy-handed policing. This is a typical combination. Oh, never heard of that. Okay, no problem. Example, the issue needs a political vision, not heavy-handedness. Synonyms, oppression, authoritarianism, harshness, overreach. Antonyms, sensitivity, leniency, restraint. Convene. I think this is yesterday we got this one. I could not delete those slides. Coming to today's editorial, I don't know how many of you are there, but today I would like to present differently. I will read a sentence, I will ask you what you have understood. Based on your response, I will tell what exactly it means. That way, it becomes an interactive session. Because I have noticed, usually students join when I deal with vocabulary, and they join when I go to mini mocks. When I do the editorial analysis, usually they don't try to, the number goes down. But that is the most important part, very unfortunate. That is the most important part because we are doing the analysis for comprehension skill. And if you take SBI Junior Assistant exam, mains exam, all about comprehension, very difficult. A tough passage, tough options. And if you are not good at going through the editorial and you're not good at understanding every sentence, then it becomes an uphill task to answer many questions. When the questions are difficult, questions may be easy, options are difficult. Losing the plot. What do you understand? I lost the plot, they lost the plot, they are losing the plot. First, you have to know how to respond. What do you understand? Losing the plot means what? On North India's air quality issue. So, at least one student should respond. Then I think it becomes an interactive session. At least initially, one or two students, slowly others will join. They understand the benefit of that. Loss of place, one meaning, okay. You must have said that based on plot has different meanings. One meaning, place. Another meaning, the story of a particular movie, the plot. Important aspects of a particular thing. And plot also means a secret plan to cause harm. Losing the plan, okay? Losing the theme, loss of area. See, two different interpretations. Literally, losing the plot, losing the place. But based on the context, losing the plan or losing the strategy when it comes to dealing with air pollution or North India's air quality issue. Plot also means important aspects, the storyline of a movie, we say plot. And losing that storyline, important aspects, losing the direction also you can say. The air quality issue requires engagement with citizens, not intimidation. This is the main idea. What do you understand from this? Dealing with the air quality issue requires something. What does it require? Engagement with citizens, not intimidation. What do you understand? It means what? Try to express using your own words, own sentences. You don't have to, in brief, you can express. You don't have to use the same words. Air quality issue requires engagement with citizens, not intimidation. What does it mean? No one has responded. Okay. Exactly. Who is this? Naidu says, interact with people, but not frighten them. It requires public actions, awareness, not forcefully enforcement. Ah, good. You guys have got it. What it means when it comes to the problem of air pollution, toxic air, we should not we should not use force, coercion, we should not intimidate citizens, but we should engage them. Means we have to involve them, we have to create awareness, and we have to make them part of the decision making. Very good. I appreciate that. Coming to, on November 24th, the Delhi government confronted a small and peaceful crowd near India Gate that had gathered to express its concern about the city's air quality index hovering near 400 with a heavy police presence. What do you understand? It talks about the event. Something happened on November 4th, November 24th, and a lengthy sentence, but easy to comprehend. Confront, come face to face, head on collision, you have to recollect, between the public and the police, the government rather. On November 24th, the Delhi government confronted a small and peaceful crowd where near India Gate. Why did they gather there? That had gathered to express its concern about the city's air quality index hovering near 400, confronted with a heavy police presence. Both are related but separated. It means on November 24th, a group of people gathered near India Gate protesting regarding the air quality because it has hovered around, means it has been there 400 points. And how did the government respond? Confront the group of people with heavy police presence. That's how they have dealt with the crowd. They have deployed police, they have confronted with a heavy police presence. Okay, no problem. The question practically wrote itself. Something became quite obvious. Was a threat being managed here public safety or political embarrassment? Was the threat being managed here public safety or political embarrassment? Was it about public safety or was it about managing what? Political embarrassment. Means the government was not in a good position, comfortable position, rather uncomfortable position. And based on that, did they do it for that, keeping that in mind, or did they do it keeping public safety in mind? That was the question. Air quality in North India in winter. Now, this sentence tells us about usually, if you take North India during winter season, what is a problem, a recurrent problem? Air quality in North India in winter is often discussed as a daily issue. Yet, monitoring stations have revealed a continuous zone of foul air from around Islamabad to Bihar. Usually, we also think winter season, Delhi air pollution, it becomes a problem. But it is not restricted to Delhi. It seems during winter season, based on the studies, monitoring stations have revealed a continuous zone of foul air, foul, unpleasant, polluted in this context, air from around Islamabad to Bihar. Not restricted to Delhi. It talks about to the range of this foul air or toxic air. Not restricted to Delhi. Emissions from industry, power generation, transport, and agriculture circulate in this shared air shed. What are the reasons behind? Foul language, you have to recollect. This sentence talks about the sources behind. What are the sources behind emissions from industry, power generation, transport, and agriculture circulate in this shared air shed? Not simply Delhi, but other regions as well. This is why the India Gate protests are politically significant. This is the reason, it seems, why they are politically significant, because of the industries behind. Delhi's middle class has usually responded with air purifiers closed windows, vacations, and private dissatisfaction, but apparently not anymore. This talks about the reaction of Delhiites. Air pollution during winter, how did the people of Delhi, how did they respond? Middle class people. They have their own ways of combating air pollution. One, with air purifiers. Second, closed windows. Third, vacations. Leave Delhi during that time. And fourth, private dissatisfaction. Means expressing, telling others about that. But apparently not anymore. Apparently means what? Obviously. No longer, not anymore. Now, what does it mean? In the past, they would do it, they would share with friends, they would use air purifiers, they would close the windows. Now they've joined hands and together they wanted to protest in public, especially near India Gate. And the state has responded by policing rather than engagement. What is the reaction of the government? It has responded. How? Instead of engaging, finding out the reasons, and showing some sort of concern, they have responded by policing rather than engagement. I think yesterday they published a paper, a pic also, front page of the Hindu paper, a protester being dragged by the police, if you remember. Deploying rapid action force. Deploy, we have got many a time. What does it mean? To place in position. It goes with police, army, all these whenever there's a disturbing situation. Deploying rapid action force units shows that the government treats these gatherings as a law and order rather than a governance problem. When a lot of people gather, there are two ways of looking at that thing. One, they can look at it as a law and order problem. Another, they can look at it as a governance problem. Because of governance problem, they had to protest. That is one way of looking at it. Because of otherwise, the government may think it's a law and order problem, and they may use police. But the writer says it is not a law and order problem. It should be treated a governance problem. North India's winter smog is the most visible part of a wider national crisis. I have already used smog, you all know. Law and order considered singular, yes. One more you have to recollect, bread and butter considered one unit, and power and authority considered one unit. They take a singular verb. Slow and steady also. Long-term analysis, plural analysis, of particulate pollution, such as the Air Quality Life Index, have shown that unsafe air is now the norm for most of India. Norm means standard. For most of India, what is the standard? It seems unsafe air is now the norm for most of India, and that present regulation, monitoring, and enforcement arrangements are insufficient across states and sectors. It has become a norm, means it has become a regular thing. Impure air, toxic fumes, toxic air, and whatever we have to monitor, they are insufficient across the states and sectors. Different sectors insufficient, across states also insufficient. Treating the problem as a seasonal emergency in the face of evidence pointing to a permanent condition demanding permanent institutions has encouraged only bursts of action. How to look at the problem, the writer is telling. It should be looked at a disturbing factor, not as a seasonal one, but a permanent condition. It's a lasting condition, a permanent condition. Then you have to think of lasting solutions. It is not a seasonal phenomenon. Demanding permanent institutions has encouraged only bursts of action. When they don't change the perspective, it results in bursts of actions. The airshed is the primary unit of governance. Today, authority is split among central ministries, state departments, municipal bodies, and specialized regulators, each with partial jurisdiction and mixed incentives. This is the problem. If one particular body has a power, then we can blame that particular body, good or bad. Good we appreciate, bad we blame. But so many organizations, so many ministries, they have a role to play that results in a chaotic situation. Sentence talks about the same thing. Today, authority is split among central ministries, state departments, municipal bodies, and specialized regulators, each with not complete jurisdiction, partial jurisdiction, and mixed incentives. The Commission for Air Quality Management was created to address this fragmentation. It seems they have created a commission to deal with this problem of fragmentation. What is the meaning of fragmentation? Divide into small parts, and is empowered to direct emissions control, coordinate among states and agencies, and impose sanctions. The Commission has got some powers. Please show the comment box. Created to address this fragmentation and is empowered. The Commission is empowered to direct emissions control, coordinate among states and agencies, and impose sanctions. Those are the powers of the Commission. Yet, contrasting word, its interventions have not matched the scale or persistence of the problem. Its interventions means the way it has been functioning have not matched the scale or persistence of the problem, not up to the expected level, fell short of the expectations. Its task now is to use its mandate to require time-bound sectoral plans. Now, what is its task? To use its mandate to require time-bound sectoral plans from governments and major emitters, track compliance through continuous monitoring, and ensure data is in public. These are the steps the writer says suggests remedies to solve the problem. Government should also abandon technical quick fixes. Should is used to advise or suggest one of the functions. Abandon, to leave. Abandon what? Technical quick fixes. On the spot, they try to do something that is not going to help. That is also known as a piecemeal approach. Piecemeal approach means dealing with one particular aspect of the problem slowly, gradually, at regular intervals. Piecemeal approach will never work. One has to take a holistic approach. These measures consume public funds and administrative bandwidth while leaving the main sources of emissions intact. No use. In a way, it says money goes waste and it is not going to make the right impact. The focus should be on interventions in power, industry, transport, construction, and agriculture with tighter norms and real enforcement. These are all understood. Obviously, the norms should be tighter, strict, stringent, and real enforcement is required, not casual, not lip service. Time-bound retirement or retrofitting of polluting plants. Time-bound retirement, closing them, or retrofitting of polluting plants. Retro means to go back. Support for cleaner fuels, renewable sources of energy and technologies, and credible alternatives for farmers burning crop residue. Even they need some sort of alternatives, farmers. Otherwise, stubble burning, you all know, one of the reasons for smog in Delhi, air pollution in Delhi. All these are solutions. How does it end? These solutions will take time to manifest or become quite obvious, clear, but only they will lead to lasting changes. They may take time, but the result is going to be positive, and we can expect lasting positive changes. And they need to be backed by a courageous political vision rather than heavy handedness. They need to deal with this problem, and for that, they should have political courage. They should be courageous. Political vision is required, not with heavy handedness. In this context, not with using the policing, or police force. Not acceptable. It ends on that note, an important editorial. Try to answer the questions. First one: what is the central criticism the author makes about the government's handling of the air quality protest near India Gate? What is the main criticism of the writer about government's? Yes, exactly. Very important, very useful. You're right, Naidu. It failed to deploy enough security. It treated a governance issue as a law and order issue. It did not have sufficient technical data on air pollution. It encouraged citizens to participate in environmental activism. No, no. Answer is B, obviously. The writer says it is a governance issue, not a law and order issue, and accordingly pointed out the government has treated that as what? A law and order issue, but it is basically a governance issue. Question number two: what can be inferred about Delhi's middle class from the passage? There's a sentence about Delhi's middle class. In the past, how they would manage air pollution. Now, how they are trying to manage. Based on that, you have to. They have always been politically active. They now view air pollution as a national rather than local issue. Their response to pollution has shifted from private coping to public expression. In the past, private coping, using air purifiers, closing the windows, and leaving Delhi for some time, go on vacation. But now they have brought it to the public expression, protesting publicly. According to the passage, what makes the North India air quality issue particularly difficult to manage? Why is it difficult to manage North India air quality issue? Lack of awareness among rural residents, not relevant. Multiple authorities with fragmented jurisdiction. This has been mentioned very clearly. So many people and multiple agencies, each one not with authority in the real sense. Partial jurisdiction, that is the actual problem. Multiple authorities and each with fragmented jurisdiction, means partial jurisdiction. Have you chosen B? Yes. What is the author's attitude toward technical quick fixes such as smog towers or short term emergency measures? You have come across the same wording. Technical quick fixes not acceptable, not advisable. Attitude: approving? No, no way. Neutral because their impact is unpredictable. Mildly supportive but prefer stronger regulation. Critical because they divert resources from real solutions. Answer should be not C, it should be D. D is the answer. Mildly supportive but prefer stronger regulation? No, not at all. Critical, why? Because they divert resources from real solutions. That has been mentioned in the passage. D is the answer. Which of the following best captures the overarching argument of the passage? Overarching means dominating, important. Best captures the most important argument of the passage. Air pollution problems arise mainly from agricultural practices. India should increase the use of high-tech pollution control devices. Air quality solutions must involve long-term systemic reforms, very important word, rather than policing or seasonal action. What is the answer here? C is the answer. Very good. Let us go to mini mocks based on exam topics. First one, error location. Try to spot the error. The center has promised to handhold the states, but labor unions allege that many pro-worker recommendations were discarded while drafting the codes. Question number one, error location. The center subject has promised present perfect to handhold the states, to guide the states, no problem. But contrasting, labor unions allege, present tense, this clause is in present, labor unions allege, nothing wrong, allege what? That many pro-worker recommendations were discarded. Many pro-worker recommendations were discarded, past tense passive voice, while drafting the codes. Nothing wrong. Has anyone chosen no error? Who is this? Sangeeta says. Answer is what? No error. The sentence is contextually, grammatically perfect. Question number 2. Free market advocates argue that the earlier labor laws were a hindrance to India's growth potential and therefore welcomed the codes as a reduced compliance burden and streamlined wage related processes. They should be easy. Do remember whenever you choose no error, cross check subject, phrases, clauses, verb, object, phrases, clauses. Make sure everything is perfect. Then you go for the fifth option, no error. You can't afford to be hasty. Fifth option. And you should be very good at grammar, rules, contextual awareness. Yes. Here, as they reduce compliance burden and as they reduce, and we cannot use the verb in the past form, as they reduce compliance burden and streamline wage related processes. Here the verb cannot be in the past form. Parallel expression. Pillars, the government must ensure that labor reforms are implemented, keeping in mind the interests of both employers and workers. Context talks about when the government wants to do something, it has to keep in mind both the parties, the stakeholders, employers and employees. So they have to take a balanced approach, obviously. Arbitrary, negative, based on whims and fancies. Judiciously means carefully, seems okay. Indifferently, negative word. Using force, negative. Not taking enough time, negative. So what is the answer here? Judiciously, carefully. Answer is no. Third one, B. The government must ensure that labor reforms are implemented judiciously, means carefully, keeping in mind both the parties, employers and employees. Question number 24. Pillar based. Labor unions believe their concerns were overlooked, creating a perception that the codes are in favor of employers. It talks about labor unions criticizing. What is the criticism, allegation? The codes have been in favor of the employers, not the employees, not the workers. That is contextual awareness. The codes are shielded in favor of employers. Regulated, you can consider dispersed. Dispersed means to get to spread out. Fractured, not relevant. Skewed, not regulated. Skewed means twisted. One of the meanings of skewed, twisted. Not regulated, obviously regulation, but twisted in favor of employers. No, no, no. Answer is who has chosen A? All of you have chosen C. No, not at all. Then it's a good question. 24. One more, based on pillar, gig workers often lack formal social security, making it necessary to build frameworks that can their income stability. Necessary to build frameworks that can support. Got it? Okay. Positive word is required. That can support, that can balance, that can something positive. Undermine means weaken. Dismantle, negative. misplace negative, retract negative, augment their income stability, improve their income stability. Answer is B. Yes. This one you guys have got it right. How come last one? Please excuse me. This is about word usage, herald. In which sentence it has been used correctly? The unexpected resignation heralded a crisis within the organization. Seems okay. They herald the documents to office yesterday. Grammatically wrong. He was herald, grammatically wrong. The manager gave a herald, grammatically wrong. It's a verb, regular verb. Heralded means to be a sign of, launch, bring in. What is the answer? A is the answer. Result in. That's all for today. I hope you guys have got enriched. Interactive session. Initially, you guys responded, but when we came across a lengthy sentence, many students, no one responded. Perhaps a time factor or comprehension problem. We'll try. I will ask different questions. Perhaps within the stipulated time, you will be able to respond. That way, it becomes an interactive session. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.